So the Metro Champs record here now for the men's 200-yard medley relay from 2015 was the University.
Well, Nick, we want to welcome everyone into the Sunny Werblin Recreation Center. We have just gone live here, as it appears we had a technical issue early in our stream, so they missed the first couple of heats there. We do apologize for that. We are just coming live right now from Rutgers University, where we are beginning the B heat of the men's 200-yard medley relay. Mary Washington just took the win in the A final for the women's 200-yard medley relay. The men have taken to the pool now. Second leg of the men's 200-yard medley relay B final. Ongoing here as I was addressing our technical issue that kept us offline for the first few minutes of tonight's meet. We are back online and fully functional from the Sunny Werblin Rec Center. Once again, we do apologize. We missed the first couple of heats tonight. We do expect to potentially have a break following this relay. We will see if that is what ultimately happens. This is the third leg in this relay. 5 teams competing, lanes ascending from the top of your screen to the bottom. In lane 2, Mount St. Mary. In lane 3, NYMC. Roberts Wesley in lane 4. Baruch lane 5. William Patterson lane 6. And right now there is a heated battle for first in lanes 4 and 5. Roberts Wesley and Baruch furiously stroking toward the touch pads, and Roberts Wesleyan takes it by about 0.3 of a second.
Furious swimming there at the end, but Roberts Wesleyan victorious, 1:39.35 time. Baruch was 1:39.64, so very close there, 1-2.
A final in the men's 200-yard medley relay coming up next. Nick did go through our entire program for the night when we thought we were live. However, I will go through that once again right now. In case you missed it, yesterday we did go through some of the events that were looming today. But we opened with the men's 200-yard medley relay on our stream. However, we opened the night with the women's 200-yard medley relay. In the A final, it was the University of Mary Washington taking the win in that event. Our slate for the rest of the night, next up, the 400-yard individual medley, followed by the 100-yard butterfly, the 200-yard freestyle, the 100-yard breaststroke, and the 100-yard backstroke. Currently, women's 1-meter diving is taking place on our second stream. You can catch that on our YouTube channel at PDF Sportsnet, youtube.com/@PDF Sportsnet. You can see all of our live streams taking place right now. Of course, if you're here with us, you're tuned into one of those streams. But also live right now is women's 1-meter diving.
So now we're getting ready for the men's 200-yard medley relay final heat here, the A heat. So just some men's cuts times for you on that. The B standard for Division 3 is 1:30.37, but there are D2 teams in here, so I'll give you some numbers on that. And you have the B standard time for D2 is 1:28.40.
The participants being introduced over public address right now is, if I'm not mistaken, they just introduced the College of Staten Island in lane 8, which means we are about to get started in this men's 200-yard medley relay final.
TCNJ had the best prelim time at 1:29.66. Second closest by quite a distance behind was Rowan at 1:32.50. 1:29.66 is close to the Metro Champs record, Joe, of 2015 University of Bridgeport, 128-23. So let's see if we're on record watch here.
Will be interesting to note. Nick, you keep an eye on that as I call the action. We'll see if any of the squads in the pool can meet that pace early on. First to the wall, Rowan swimming out of lane 5. They have a lead of about half a body length, maybe a bit less. And the profs are first to the touch pad.
22-10 there for Rowan.
Neck and neck, the Lions and the profs right now in lanes 4 and 5. And how many times have we said that already this weekend?
They'll be battling for the overall men's champion for the school winner. TCNJ lightning quick there, 24-80 split. Still right there with Rowan now.
Rowan and TCNJ stroke for stroke heading toward the touch pads. Fourth and final swimmer into the pool for the Lions and the profs, not far behind the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy. Can the Mariners make a late push? TCNJ first to the wall. Off of the final turn, they have an advantage of about half a body length, and it appears as if that is going to be enough as TCNJ takes the win in the men's 200-yard medley relay A final.
Narrowly missing the new record, but 129-26. Tremendous job there by TCNJ to get the victory.
And with that, we are going to take a 10-minute break as expected. So Nick and I will step aside for just a couple of minutes. We will come back ahead of the conclusion of this brief break in the action to bring you our next event, which will be the 400-yard individual medley, 400 IM, coming up next, following a short break. And welcome back inside the sunny Werblin Recreation Center on the campus of Rutgers University. Joe Foreman rejoining you alongside Nick Durst for the PDF Sports Network. And our next event is about to begin, our C Heat in the women's 400-yard individual medley. I was communicating with a lot of you in the live chat of our main stream during that intermission. When we do have intermissions moving forward, we will mute the volume, otherwise you'll hear us conversing at the commentary desk. And we don't want any unnecessary voice coming into the stream, and I think it's better to mute it than to have people question if our volume levels are correct. Also, we were working on what caused our internet issue to try and get to the heart of that problem, which kept us offline for the first 2 heats of the night. And once again, we do apologize to those of you looking for those 2 events who were not able to watch, friends or family members. We do sincerely apologize for that and hope to make it up to you if those individuals compete again this weekend. This is our first time streaming this event with our new setup, and we ran through everything flawlessly last night. No issues last night. This is our first hiccup since night 1, so we do apologize for that, but we hope that you continue to stay with us the rest of the weekend. We'll be back tomorrow for the prelims and for the finals. Also, if you're looking for diving, once again, our diving stream is airing simultaneously to this one, as we've now completed the first 100 yards in this women's 400-yard individual medley. On to the backstroke here.
Can expect here that this race will take just a little under 5 minutes, probably around 4:50, as that was what the pace was set in the prelims for these swimmers. Megan Kim from University of Mary Washington in lane 4 swam a 4:49.95 in that, and right now she's kind of behind a little bit, but it's not about how you start in these longer races. It's always about how you finish.
So while we have a moment in the midst of the backstroke leg, I will introduce the participants. Once again, lanes from the top of your screen to the bottom of your screen ascending. Molly Kleindienst in lane 1. Roxy Matlashewski in lane 2. Natty Baldonazzo, lane 3. Megan Kim, lane 4. Grace Geyer, lane 5. Catherine Geyer, lane 6. Abigail Thomas, lane 7. And Catherine McCain in lane 8.
I wonder if Grace and Catherine are related, but they do go to 2 different schools, but there's really no way for us to know. So if they are related, I wonder what their family members are thinking in this
Lewis
race.
Geyer is in the chat, so he could certainly tell us
All right,
that.
Lewis, let us know who you're rooting for here, Catherine or Grace.
I'm sure he can't do that, Nick. The correct answer is both, assuming, of course, they are related. Right now, in lanes 3 and 5, Baldonazzo and Geyer stroke for stroke as they head back toward the touch pads.
Catherine and Grace Geyer, both freshmen. So if they are in fact sisters, that would mean they're twins. So we'll see if they're potentially their brother or someone is going to be able to help us here, or if they're a family member of the chat.
Still in the midst of the third leg, or I should say the third stroke in this women's 400-yard IM. Looks like Grace Geyer was first to the wall by the slimmest of margins. Unrelated, Nick. Unrelated. Go Grace is the response.
All right. How about that? What are the chances that they're both in a race?
Swimming side by side.
And they're both freshmen.
Also in the chat is Stephanie Geyer, who would be related to Catherine Geyer.
Oh!
She says, I'm sure Grace is lovely, but she's no cougar.
All right.
Looks like the lead now belongs to Natty Baldonazzo, swimming out of lane 3. Grace Geyer not far behind. Neither is Megan Kim in lane 4. Looks like Kim and Grace Geyer get to the touchpad at just about the same time, but Natty Baldonazzo maintains her lead, swimming out of lane 3.
Megan Kim, great split there, 32-42. Natty Baldonazzo, 33-21. As I mentioned in the prelims, Megan Kim was the fastest. Stroke for stroke here at the end.
Ah, so Stephanie is Grace's mother.
Right.
I was close.
Well, how about that, Joe? In lane 8, Catherine McCain comes away with the victory.
Now, Nick, was she leading that entire time? Based on her official posted time, it sure appears that way. Unfortunately, we cannot see lane 8 really at all. We can see it down around the wall partially.
Well,
so we apologize to Amanda.
Because she came in to that heat with the slowest prelim time of 4:55.76. She smoked the competition 4:45.57 in that race.
400-yard individual medley B heat coming up next. Lane 1, Leah Goody. Lane 2, according to our venue scoreboard, is unpopulated. That is not correct. We do have the last name.
Olivia Totaro, I believe.
All right, thank you, Nick.
Salisbury.
So Olivia Totaro's name is not up on the official board in the venue, but she is indeed in the pool right now. As we head to the conclusion of the first 50. First to the touchpad by a slim margin was Goody in lane 1.
Quickest prelim time was Mandy Charleston from Rowan University, or Roberts Wesleyan University, excuse me, as she had a 4:46.91 time. Julia Bleeker was actually a little faster. Those are the top two. From University of Mary Washington was a 4:40.489 in the prelims. And right now there, Mandy Charleston first to the wall, 33-33. Split time there. On the backstroke now, she's continuing a good pace. She's first touched the wall here on the spin. Behind her in lane 3 is Kaylee Karan from University of Mary Washington. Juliana Bleeker right there with them in lane 4.
Well, Nick, thanks for picking that up for me. I was communicating in the live chat on our diving stream. Several people in the diving stream are looking for this stream, so I had to throw a programming note up on the screen in the diving stream. Unfortunately, there's no more efficient way to organize the streams. All we can do is title them. And of course, those were also shared by the conference to all the different schools, but we did our best to organize them so that everyone could find what they were looking for.
If you're looking for diving right now and trying to pop back and forth, looks like they're on a bit of a break, so you're not missing any action. But back to the action here in the pool right now, and Mandy Charleston is maintaining her lead, 36-42 split time there. Slowing down a bit there, Juliana Bleeker, 35.86, and Kaylee Karan, 35.87. Those are the top 3 right now in this race.
Once again, the 8 participants from top to bottom on your screen. Goody, Totaro, Karan, Bleeker, Charleston, DePascal, Burton, Davis. The lead belongs to Mandy Charleston, swimming out of lane 5 right now as she heads toward the touchpad. This is the 3rd stroke in our medley. This is the breaststroke, and we'll wrap up with the freestyle.
Looks like Juliana Bleeker going to take a slight lead here over Mandy Charleston.
Close race right now in lanes 4 and 5. Still a tad over 100 yards remaining in this event.
Looks like Olivia Totaro right now in lane 2 is in 3rd place, but it's close down the line.
Very close. Final 100, the freestyle. Looks like Bleeker has extended her lead just a bit through the first 25 in this freestyle. Still in second, swimming out of lane 5, Mandy Charleston. Though once again, I'm trying to get an eye on lane 8. Not having much luck, but it doesn't appear as if we're going to be surprised during this 25 yards.
Lane 8's a little back. Amanda Davis in lane 8.
Davis didn't just swim in the previous event, did she? With the lead in lane 5, still Mandy Charleston, but closing in quickly is Sarah Burton in lane 7. Burton making a late bid, swimming for TCNJ. Does she have enough? It does not appear so. As Juliana Bleeker takes first, Burton second, Totaro third, DePascal fourth, Karan fifth, Goody sixth, Charleston seventh, and Davis eighth.
Juliana Bleeker won the women's 200 individual medley last night in her heat, so 2 for 2 in the individual medleys for her, and it's great for her and her school, University of Mary Washington.
Get ready to bring them out. The women's 400-yard individual medley finalists in the A heat are making their way poolside right now. And taking a look at those swim caps, Nick, it looks like one program may have 4 or 5 participants.
A lot of University of Mary Washington. We got 3 participants, and must be them.
Yeah, I think I see 3 of those Mary Washington swim caps, though there are more Eagle swimmers gathered around the starting blocks not too far away. Participants in this women's 400-yard individual medley A final. In lane 1, Alazne Sadupe. Once again, those in the live chat, if I mistakenly butcher someone's name, feel free to correct me. Sadupe swimming on behalf of Ramapo College. Swimming for Rowan, Emma Padros. Swimming for Kane University, Taylor Jacobson. Naomi Miller is also swimming for Kane University. Jenny Thompson swimming for the University of Mary Washington. Emma Beller's also swimming for Kane. So 3 Kane swimmers and 3 Mary Washington swimmers in this event. The last 2 swimmers for the Eagles, Delaney Humphrey and April Gross.
Naomi Miller had the best prelim time, 4:32.64. The second best time, well behind her, was Jenny Thompson, who had a 4:36.95 time. You never quite know what these prelim times, because a lot of times these swimmers or schools, they might hold back a little in the prelims because they know they're going to make the finals, and they turn it on when it comes to the final heat.
Taking a look over to my left quickly, it looks like the divers are getting warmed up for the men. So over on our diving stream, we'll shift our attention there. But if you're here on this stream, you are here for the swimming events in our main pool. And we are about set to get underway in this women's 400-yard IM. Though our public address announcer, Bob, has a lot of great information on these swimmers. Now, I found out where he's getting that information. He's not getting it ahead of meet day. He's actually collecting bio sheets before the events take place and the finalists have been determined. So he gets those bio sheets completed after the finalists have been determined during prelims. I got a chance to see that in action today. So
Bob was here with you this morning for the prelims. Hardest working guy in the room, some would say.
I can't argue with that. I'll settle for second. As the 400-yard individual medley A final is underway. This is the women's final. 3 men's heats in this event coming up next. As the Mary Washington Eagle has made its way poolside.
The Eagle must be sweating. I mean, it is so hot in here tonight. I can only imagine how the mascot's feeling with all his feathery outside layers.
Nothing to celebrate for the Eagle yet, as the lead belongs to Naomi Miller of Kane University, swimming out of lane 4. Off of that last turn, her lead grew a bit. The rest of the swimmers, at least 6 of them, just about stroke for stroke right now in lanes 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, and 7.
Naomi Miller, 32:21 split time.
She completed the first 100 in under a minute, 59.77. Miller maintaining a sizable advantage heading back toward the touch pads. This is now our second stroke in this individual medley. 34.59 split for Miller, which is off the pace set by Emma Padros, sub 34, swimming out of lane 2. And right now, Padros, along with Delaney Humphrey, appear to be closest to Miller, as Miller heads back toward the touch pads to complete the first half of this medley.
Miller well ahead right now as she goes to the touch pad here. 34.51 split time there for Miller, and now Padros 34.35, but well behind her at this point.
Miller's lead continuing to grow, stroke for stroke in lanes 2 and 7. Padros and Humphrey, neither of them have gained much of an advantage over the other. We will see if either of them could put some pressure on Naomi Miller.
$38.90 split there for Miller, and just now, Delaney Humphrey touches the wall, 39.39.
Humphrey in second right now behind Miller. Miller turns and heads back toward the touchpad, still with a sizable advantage. Though, Nick, I think her lead might be shrinking just a bit. Humphrey definitely increasing her advantage in second. There's no question about that.
Looks like Jenny Thompson might be in third right now, lane 5.
I think you're right. I think she is in third. Very close with Padros.
As I mentioned in the prelims, Naomi Miller was the fastest by a full 4 seconds.
That's a wide margin.
4:32.64. And if you look now, it's going to play to 4 most likely here.
The lead for Miller has not changed. Certainly did not during that last 50 anyway.
4 minutes and 69 seconds to the wall there. 4:05.08 for Humphrey. So she had a 5-second lead.
Miller heading for the wall with a sizable advantage. I do not believe anyone can catch her.
Nope.
Looks like a race for third right now, as Humphrey is in second by at least a couple of body lengths here.
Padros and I think, it looks like Padros might get pushed here for third.
And she was pushed, Nick. She was overtaken by Emma Bellers. Miller 1, Humphrey 2, Bellers 3, Padros 4, Jacobson 5, Sadupe 6, Thompson 7, and Gross 8.
Miller with a victory of almost 5 seconds over Delaney Humphrey. That is dominance.
And that will send us to our men's 400-yard individual medley C final. Participants are up on the board. I will get those to you in lane 1, representing Salisbury, Christian Ramache. In lane 2, representing Montclair State, Stephen Barnard. In lane 3, representing the University of Mary Washington, Sean Gitchell. In lane 4, representing Salisbury, Clayton Jameson. In lane 5, representing Montclair State, Jared Gaynor. In lane 6, representing Salisbury, Robert Kraus. In lane 7, also representing Salisbury, Austin Thielke. And in lane 8, representing Ramapo, Caleb Barron.
Clayton Jameson in lane 4, quickest prelim time, 4:23.63. And Jared Gaynor in lane 5, second fastest, 4:24.09.
Lead belonging to Clayton Jameson in lane 4 right now.
Some cut times for the 400-yard individual medley for men. NCAA Division 3, A standard 347.2, B standard 401.5, and for the D2 cut time, the men's A standard would be 349 and B standard 400.4.
Sean Gitchell first to the touch pads. He now holds the lead, swimming out of lane 3.
32.96 split for him. Good pacing.
Just over his morning split.
Gitchell continues to lead out of lane 3. Looks like his closest competitor is Jared Gaynor of Montclair State, swimming out of lane 5, but a lot of swimmers closely clustered behind Gitchell, and they may be closing on him just a bit here. Breaststroke up next in this individual medley. And a lot of the time when you see a change in stroke, you see a corresponding shift in the standings up there on that leaderboard in the venue. See if that comes to fruition here. And it does indeed look like Gaynor is closing on Gitchell right now. They're just about stroke for stroke headed toward the touch pads.
Very close there. Gitchell 241.77 at that touch. Gaynor 241.72. So Garrett goes ahead there at that touch. And sandwiched in between them right now in third place is Clayton Jameson.
Gaynor and Gitchell still about stroke for stroke. It looks like Gaynor may have a narrow lead as we get set to begin the final 100. Begin the freestyle. Final 100 yards in this men's 400 IM. Gaynor and Gitchell at the front of the pack. Close behind them, Clayton Jameson swimming out of lane 4.
Jameson off the wall well there, but looks like Gaynor's going to be a little too far ahead there. And I think Gitchell is going to come in second, but it's going to be close to the wall there.
We have another 50.
Yes, to the wall there. Now it's anybody's race. The three of them are all there.
That's for sure. They're all stroke for stroke right now. No telling which way this one is going to go. And it looks like Jameson may have a narrow lead. Jameson still in front. Who will take second? It is Gaynor over Gitchell for second place. In fourth, Robert Kraus. In fifth, Christian Ramache. In sixth, Stephen Barnard. In seventh, Austin Thielke. And in eighth, Caleb Barron.
Next up will be our final men's 400-yard individual medley, Mr. Referee.
B final coming up next. And I will give you the participants ahead of the start of this B final. In lane 1, representing US MMA, Ryan Shimolensky. In lane 2, also representing US MMA, Davis Caldwell. In lane 3, representing Ramapo, Emil Eekhout. In lane 4, representing Salisbury, Daniel Grigoriev. In lane 5, representing the College of Staten Island, William Kwan. In lane 6, representing US MMA, Ethan Williams. Kyle Johnson, representing the University of Mary Washington, swimming out of lane 7. And TJ Madursky, representing Rowan University, is swimming out of lane 8.
Kwan and Grigoriev with their prelim times very close to each other. The two favorites here coming into this heat. So keep an eye on the two of them.
It looked like Shimolensky and Madursky were first to the touch pads there, and they do still appear to be sharing the lead. Tough to see lane 8, but it looks like Madursky has at the very least a share of the lead. He may be a bit behind. Officially, he is first to the wall by about a second. So
28-84 split there, 53-99. So she is first there.
The perspective really throws you off from where we are viewing lane 8. It looks like they're a bit further behind the pace than they actually are, swimming out of that nearby lane. I'll have to keep that in mind the rest of the way.
Chilminsky having a great backstroke there, 31.76, 126.72 overall.
Chmielewski first to the touch pad on that last touch, and now in the midst of the backstroke, he will also be first to the wall. Kyle Johnson second to the wall, but the lead for Chmielewski Remaining steady, though, he's being pushed out of lane 7 by Kyle Johnson. That lead now beginning to shrink a bit. Chmielewski still leading out of lane 1. He certainly picked it up with the introduction of the breaststroke to this individual medley. Still being pushed by Johnson in lane 7, and closing in quickly is TJ Mederski in lane 8. He may overtake Johnson here.
He does.
And he does, you're right, Nick, he does. So Mederski lost some ground during the backstroke, has come surging back here in the breaststroke, and now he's headed for the wall, about maybe a half a body length off the lead. Chmielewski has led for much of this race. He and Mederski jockeying for position during the first 100, and then Chmielewski distinguished himself as we now enter the final 100. 100 yards of freestyle coming up here.
Very rare that you have lanes 1 and 8 battling for first place.
Mederski, Chmielewski. It looks like they will be vying for first, though. Don't sleep on Emil Eekhout swimming out of lane 3 either. He's not out of this. Chmielewski first to the wall. He was about a second ahead of Mederski during that last 50 yards. Less than 50 to go. For Chmielewski, he now has 25 to go. He's first to the wall. It looks like Mederski is still right behind him. We're going to have a close finish here, Nick. And it will be Chmielewski by about 0.7 of a second. He takes first, Mederski second, Eekhout third, Grigoriev fourth, Kwan fifth, Williams sixth, Caldwell seventh, Johnson eighth.
Very exciting race there. You don't expect lanes 1 and 8 to go 1-2 on the podium, but that is exactly what happened there.
A final coming up next. Men's 400-yard individual medley. There you see the participants up on your screen. Once they populate our in-venue LED board, I will share them with you. Have to say, Nick, the Mets does it right with the introduction of their A finalists. Unique tracks, one-by-one introduction over public address. And I've said it before, for a lot of these swimmers who may be hitting the pool for the last time in their collegiate careers, this has to feel good, especially in front of spectators this year. We did not have spectators in the building during last year's meet.
No, it's a whole different environment in here with friends and family members in here, a packed house, and before the event got started, the song blared across the speakers, "Are you ready for a good time?" And so far, all the spectators here tonight have been having a good time watching some great swimming action.
Well, Nick, it was also packed this morning during the prelims, so
Really?
It's not just the finals that draw a nice crowd. The prelims certainly do as well. There was a bit of a break between the swimming prelims and the diving prelims.
I know you were filling me in on the exciting diving prelims this morning.
A lot of warm-up and a lot more diving. 11 dives each for about, between the men and the women, maybe 20 divers.
Wow.
We covered it all. But as the participants are being introduced at the starting blocks, I will share those names with you. In lane 1, representing TCNJ, Conrad Hoodie. In lane 2, also representing TCNJ, Jonah Herring. In lane 3, representing the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy, Oliver Austin. In lane 4, once again representing the Lions, Ryan Higgins. In lane 5, representing the Lions of TCNJ, Gavin Foreman. In lane 6, representing the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy, Andrew Turbyfill. In lane 7, representing Rowan, Rocco Evangelista. And in lane 8, representing the University of Mary Washington, Conrad Tan.
I know you're a big fan of Gavin Foreman's name, but I gotta tell you, Conrad Hoodie in lane 1, that is a swimming name if I've ever seen it before.
We may have had this conversation last year, Nick. Is he a freshman?
Conrad Hoodie is a senior.
Okay, good. So he definitely was here last year. I'm having deja vu here. I think we had that conversation last year, Nick.
It's a great name, and this might be one of his last races here. So we wish him and all the participants in this race good luck.
He will get his due tomorrow night, as will all of the seniors during the senior walk. That goes live at approximately 5:20 p.m. We expect to be on the air at about 5:15 tomorrow. First leg of this individual medley, butterfly stroke. With the early lead is Oliver Austin in lane 3, not by much. Doesn't mean much either this early. First to the wall was Austin by 4/100ths of a second. Early split times hovering around 25-26 seconds in this 400-yard IM A final for the men. Brian Higgins has moved ahead of Oliver Austin. Higgins swimming out of lane 4. He is first to the touchpad. 53-52 for him in the first 100.
Austin still second. And then
Four-man. Right now with a 29-18 split, as Bob emphatically said your last name, Joe.
Gavin certainly does not spell his last name like I do. Not close.
Well, last night the Foreman formula certainly was working for him.
He was a winner yesterday. Right now, Ryan Higgins in a good position to pick up a win. Still plenty of time, but he has a nice lead as we enter the backstroke. Higgins first to the wall by at least 2 or 3 seconds.
Heading towards about the halfway mark of this race time-wise.
153.
Ryan Higgins, 29.02, split there, 152.52. And behind him, Gavin Foreman, 156.51. So big lead right now for Higgins.
Breaststroke through the next 100 yards. As you said, Nick, we just reached the midway point on that last touch for the 8 swimmers. Higgins still leading. Second could go in any direction right now. One of 3 or 4 swimmers could be in second at the moment. Should say third, as Foreman does maintain a lead in second place. One of 3 or 4 swimmers could be in third right now, as Higgins once again reaches the wall far ahead of his closest competitor.
He was 3:02.27 earlier.
Higgins maintaining his lead through the breaststroke.
Cruising right now, 2:59.30, 33.72 split time. And no one touched the wall yet. The touchpad until now. Gavin Foreman, 34.37, 3:05.29 overall. Foreman is trying to push here, but I don't think he's going to be able to catch Ryan Higgins.
Sub 300 for Higgins through that first 300. His lead is still a large one. The TCNJ contingent loves it. Can't see them on your camera. They are all the way to the right in the spectator bowl near the starting blocks.
So let's see if Ryan Higgins could break the record set in 2013 for Metro Champs of 3:57.77.
It looks like he's going to, Nick. He's certainly going to. The question is by how much?
There it is.
New record. Ryan Higgins, 3:54.46. And how close was Foreman, Nick? He was probably off by a few tenths of a second.
Yeah, Foreman really missed it by a little bit. The record himself, he gets set up for second place, but Ryan Higgins, lightning quick there, a new Metro Champs all-time record, and he's pumped up.
Rightfully so, as he receives some well-deserved applause from the Lions in the stands. Higgins 1, Foreman 2, Hoodie 3, Herring 4, Tobyfill 5, Austin 6, Evangelista 7, and Tan 8th.
All right, Joe. The pace is about to pick up as we go to the 100-yard butterfly here. And we'll start off with the ladies. We got 3 heats, of course, and the men with 3 heats as well.
Mr. Referee.
Women's 100-yard butterfly. Participants up on your screen. Sydney McGann swimming out of lane 1, representing Montclair State. Hannah Grant representing USMMA in lane 2. Alexis Kidchob representing Rowan in lane 3. Kinsey Ginsburg also representing Rowan in lane 4. Sophia Hall representing TCNJ lane 5. Laura Jones representing Rowan lane 6. Christina DeFore representing USMMA lane 7. And Kira Chen representing Baruch lane 8. Nick, I have to be a bit quicker. It's only 100 yards here.
Yeah, you got it in though, so all good there. Tomorrow we'll be going speed reading for the 50-yard.
You're right about that. Let's see who gets to the touchpad first. It was awfully close. Kira Chen out of lane 8, first to the touchpads through the first 50. It still is anybody's race. This could go in any direction right now. Chen also first to the wall in lane 8.
Chen's in the bottom of your screen. View's a bit obstructed, but
we have a good view now. She's being pushed in lane 6 by Laura Jones. Can Chen hold on? No. She'll drop to 5th. She was first to the wall. And
tie for second, though.
That just goes to show you, Nick. Chen, who appeared to be first to the wall, finishes 5th. Jones was overtaken by Christina DeFore in lane 7. DeFore wins the C final in the women's 100-yard butterfly. DeFore 1, Jones 2, tied with Ginsburg as the scoreboard repopulates immediately. But you said it, a tie for second, Nick.
All right, got to be quick here. We got to cut the next people in here. So lane 1, Rourke Peralta. Lane 2, Lauren Walls. Lane 3, Maya June. Lane 4, Kalani Talma. Lane 5, Jordan DeGrucci. Lane 6, Julia May. Lane 7, Anna J. Jack. And then lane 8, Cheryl Haywood.
First 25, swimmers still closely assembled. Looks like it may be a narrow lead for Anna J. Jack, swimming out of lane 7 right now. But early leads typically don't mean too much in a 100-yard event. J. Jack still in the lead. I would say her closest competitor right now is swimming out of lane 4. That's Kalani Talma. J. Jack was first to the wall. J. Jack's lead is growing, heading toward the touchpads. She's being pushed by Talma once again in lane 4. Does J. Jack have enough to finish? She does. Anna J. Jack takes first in the B final of the women's 100-yard butterfly, followed by Talma, DeGrucci, Peralta, June, May, Walls, and Haywood.
Good job reading all those names, Joe, before the board got swapped, but we'll have a few moments here as we get ready for the next
Nick,
beat here with the music.
They want the sing-along. We don't have another intermission. I have to clip that.
Well, tomorrow, maybe Joe could play the Meet the Mets Open. And no music now for these swimmers, which is a little disappointing. So maybe perhaps you could sing for them as they come out here.
I won't be singing. I'm more than happy to play your rendition of Since You've Been Gone.
Let's say, there's no more intermission?
Well, there won't be an intermission now. There's no more relays. Typically, the intermission's after the relay. Though we did have one last night, didn't we?
It's usually 2 intermissions.
Yeah,
so
we did have one last night. You're right.
Say maybe before the backstroke, we'll have an intermission. So after the 200-yard freestyle, perhaps.
Let's see how easily we can clip that. If I can find it and clip it fast enough, we will do it.
So who in the chat's asking for this since you've been gone?
Our friends who were looking for shout-outs.
Oh, Lewis, Andrew.
No, not those friends. Our friends who were looking for shout-outs last night. Swimmers.
The swimmers.
Former swimmers. They were very interested to hear that.
Well, tomorrow maybe you could hear Meet the Mets rendition, and perhaps tonight or tomorrow, Joe will play the rendition from last year of Since You've Been Gone. But I can assure you, Joe, if you play that, people are going to get confused seeing the stream from last year on the screen. You'll be able to deal with a lot of commenters saying, what's going on? This looks like it's 2021. Why is there diving picture-in-picture? What's going on? So be careful of that if you play that clip from last year.
There's a lot that has changed since last year. The setup has changed quite a bit. It's gotten far more extensive this year. Last year, we only had one computer to worry about. When you have one computer to worry about, it is far easier to manage. But we have 3 cameras, 2 computers, and a sound system.
Patty Tumax up here with us helping out. Pat Fleming doing a good job engineering tonight. The reason why you're seeing on your screen through every event who the participants are.
I think if there's anything I've learned this weekend, it's that if we do this again, it's a 4-man job.
Yeah, Joe 4-man job.
No, it is a 4-person crew required.
Oh boy, it's going to get tight up here.
If we have there's plenty of room. If we have a 4-person crew, the issues that we've had don't last for more than a minute.
We'll see who would be lucky enough to work with us next year.
What we're going to try and do is get that footage back from the beginning of the night. I don't believe we have it, but we'll see. And we'll try and dig that out if we can. I don't believe there is a way to go back and capture what was input into our broadcast hub.
We'll see.
But
Joe, maybe if we had another intermission, you can recap the results of those first 2 races, perhaps, for everybody. But here, Joe, we're about to get started here, so we got to go through the lineup here real quick. So, lane 1, Sierra Wakefield from Salisbury. Lane 2, Jamie Bone from TCNJ. Lane 3, Rose McMullen from University of Mary Washington. Her 2 teammates in lane 4 and 5, Bridget Wilson and Margaret Jones. Lane 6 from the United States Merchant Marine Academy, and Annie Hood. Lane 7 is Abby Burns from Kane, and lane 8 is Brianna Shaw, also from Kane.
Thank you, Nick. Once again, a lot of representation for the University of Mary Washington, the winners of the women's meet last season. And it looks like 3 Eagles were the first 3 to the touchpads there. 26.42, 26.63, and 26.66.
Some would say the women are flying right now in the women's 100 fly.
Well, that was 2 Eagles. That was 2 Eagles and a Mariner. Well, Annie Hood actually led through the first 50, and she may be leading right now. It appears to be between Hood and Wilson for the lead. It's going to be close. It looks like Wilson has a slight advantage, and Wilson takes 1. Her teammate, Margaret Jones, takes 2. Hood falls to 3. Bone takes 4th. In 5th is McMullen. In 6th, Shaw. In 7th, Burns. And in 8th, Wakefield.
Tremendous race there. That was very quick, under a minute for the winners.
Final, Mr. Rowe.
All right, on to the men's now, Joe. Men's 100-yard.
C final, lane 1. John Englert of Montclair State, lane 2. Matthew Dunlaney of US MMA. Will Landon of Salisbury, lane 3. Kai Green of Mary Washington, lane 4. Benji Gomez of Ramapo, lane 5. Charles Cusimano of Staten Island, lane 6. William Urian of Salisbury, lane 7. And Kyle Diedrich of Mary Washington, lane 8. First to the touchpad, Kai Green, with a time of 24:11 through the first 50. Right now, it looks like first to the wall, Green, and perhaps Urian swimming out of lane 7. But this is still anybody's race. This could go in any direction, heading for the final touch. And the C final will belong to Benji Gomez, swimming out of lane 5, representing Ramapo. He took the win by 0.17 seconds, followed by Charles Cusimano of Staten Island and Kai Green of Mary Washington.
All right, now we're on to the next race here. And we're going quick here, quick pace. Bob's not waiting. He wants the races to get going here. So he directs right to the official.
I think they're having technical issues with the microphone right now, Nick. They need batteries.
Uh-oh.
I've been there before.
I see CSI coach Mike Akalitis is there checking in on the situation.
Amariento in lane 1, Trevay lane 2, Attenborough lane 3, Bird lane 4, Collar lane 5, Lynch lane 6, Walter lane 7, Dorsett in lane 8 of this men's 100-yard butterfly B final. No distinguished leader yet. It looks like it may be anybody at the front of the pack, Nick. I can't pinpoint anyone who has more than a fingertips advantage right now. This could go in any direction.
Can't really say who.
Eyeballing it,
maybe
Nick.
Henry Lynch. I don't know.
It looks like maybe Attenborough in lane 3. Nope, he takes 4th. It was Trevay in lane 2 taking the top spot, followed by Henry Lynch. That's Preston Trevay of Mary Washington winning the B final. Henry Lynch takes 2nd. Andrew Walter 3rd. Anthony Attenborough 4th. Jay Bird 5th. Tyler Dorsett 6th. Larry Amariento 7th. And Dixon Collar 8th.
All right, so now it's on to the A final. Joe, if you were a swimmer and you had to walk out, obviously there was no choice in this, but if you had a choice, what genre of music would you want to walk out?
You know it.
To?
You know the answer.
WWE.
Head of the table, obviously.
That's not really a genre of music.
Oh, genre? I thought you meant a song. Head of the table is the name of the song. It's
okay, there
the
you
Roman
go.
Reigns entrance theme. That's not a question. That is final boss music if I've ever heard it.
All right. Well, worst of luck to the tribal chief tonight at Elimination Chamber as he's in Montreal to take on all the Zaniacs.
That atmosphere may be a lot like that 2013 or whatever year it was, the match between John Cena and CM Punk. That might have been 2011. I think it was 2011. Money in the Bank. The hometown crowd.
Chicago.
Behind the challenger.
I think it's going to be a lot like how the Mets finals were in day 4 last year.
That's a good comparison. I've said it multiple times already this weekend. The atmosphere last year was electric.
I'm waiting for the crowd to really get loud here. They've been nice. They've been solid, but I think they got to bring the energy a little bit more. We usually see that a lot on the last day of the meet.
I'll tell you, Nick, I think the building is usually partial to the relays. That's just my feel.
There's more people involved, so a lot of more people to cheer for, a lot more parties. But we got the participants on the screen now for who is participating in this big race. So you see them here in the top left. And we have Daniel DiCarlo in lane 1 from the United States Merchant Marine Academy. Lane 2 is David McCraney from the United States Merchant Marine Academy. Lane 3 is Andrew Kichab from TCNJ. Lane 4 from the United States Merchant Marine Academy is Will Schneider. Lane 5 I know is a favorite of our viewers in the chat. It is Joe the Big Dog Rucci from Rowan College. Lane 6 from Salisbury is Christopher Noor. Lane 7 from TCNJ is Richard Park. And in lane 8 from Rowan is Kevin Yanagasawa.
Well, Nick, we have some of our colleagues from the College of Staten Island watching. Nick Bavona loved my choice of walkout music.
Well, we were talking about Nick Bavona last night, how he always tunes in. I said, is he watching swimming? And you said no, but he proved you wrong. He's the right-hand man.
I did not think that he would be tuning in. He usually goes back and rewatches the games him and I call.
Four-man crew next year for up here. The
four-man crew tomorrow?
I don't know. Is there enough money to go around? That's the question.
I always find the money. A final, men's 100-yard butterfly, and we're underway.
Could have Nick Bavona calling diving while engineering it.
You could.
Although you really can't see from our vantage point what's going on.
No, you can't.
He's diving, and 1 foot, 2 foot, and he's in after a spin.
Without knowing the dives of the scores, there's not much we can offer from up here in the press box.
We could certainly entertain, though, you and I, if we had to.
First to the touch pads through the first 50, Will Schneider, swimming out of lane 4, representing the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy. His lead is a small one right now. This is still anyone's race. Closest competitors in lane 1 and lane 7. Those being Daniel DiCarlo and Richard Park.
Schneider showing the will to win here.
Will showing the will. As he heads toward the touchpad with the lead, it looks like Rucci will take second. He will. Kidchop third. DiCarlo fourth. Knorr fifth. Park sixth. Yanagisawa seventh. And McCrane eighth.
Fast racing there. Schneider 49.02 in victory.
No break for us yet. I suspect if we have a second break, it will come after our next event, which is the 200-yard freestyle.
Yeah, I would say that's probably it. If we have it, one at all, it would be there, and then you finish it off with the 100-yard breaststroke.
Don't forget the 100-yard backstroke. That's right. We got 2 more events after this. Participants in the women's 200-yard freestyle C final: Daisy Holder, lane 1; Cara Graybill, lane 2; Katie Cipoletti, lane 3; Jillian Walls, lane 4; Grace Winkowski in lane 5; Ashley Dyer, lane 6; Nicole Rickabaugh in lane 7; and Maria McMahon, lane 8. Dyer with a narrow lead swimming out of lane 6. Second to the touch pads was Grace Winkowski, swimming alongside Dyer in lane 5. Dyer once again first to the wall.
It's like Cipoletti currently in second, but it's very close.
And it's getting closer, Nick. Cipoletti gaining ground. Dyer was first to the touchpad once again. Cipoletti about 0.2 of a second off her pace. Dyer to the wall at just about the same moment as Cipoletti. They appear to be stroke for stroke here. Looks like Cipoletti has overtaken Dyer, and she certainly has. Bested her by about 0.4 of a second there. Maybe closer to half a second. As Cipoletti's lead continues to grow, she's first to the wall. The race for second being fought out of lanes 4 and 6 right now. Cipoletti headed for the touchpad, and she takes first. Jillian Walls second. Ashley Dyer third. Cara Graybill fourth. Maria McMahon fifth. Grace Winkowski sixth. Daisy Holder seventh. And Nicole Rickabaugh eighth.
Sip, sip, hooray. Big victory for Kate Cipoletti.
Second time in 2 nights we've gotten a sip, sip, hooray.
When the moment calls for it.
B final in the women's 200-yard freestyle coming up next. In lane 1, Paige Stryker of the University of Mary Washington. Lane 2, Elizabeth Jones of Rowan University. Lane 3, Valeria Pages of Ramapo. Lane 4, Cameron Carrazza of TCNJ. Lindsay Cave of Rowan in lane 5. Christina DeFore of the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy, lane 6. Mackenzie Wall of TCNJ, lane 7. And Alexa Hilty of Salisbury in lane 8. First to the touch pads, Christina DeFore swimming out of lane 6.
26:96 there.
That's split time, the only time sub 27 seconds through the first 50. It looked like Mackenzie Wall may have been first to the wall there, swimming out of lane 7. She's going stroke for stroke with DeFore right now, heading back toward the touch pads.
Halfway mark here.
Those splits out of lane 6 and lane 7, very close. The only two splits, sub 30 seconds. Can they maintain it? We, of course, expect the splits to go down a bit, especially during the final 50. The question is, how much will those splits go down for the swimmers who set the pace early on? Will they go down? Those are the two big questions. Both swimmers out of lane 6 and 7, up over 30.5 second split times. DeFore still has the lead. It is shrinking. Jones closing in lane 2. Wall still in the mix in lane 7 as well. Jones and DeFore in lanes 2 and 6, battling for first. Second can go in any direction. Taking first, Jones. Second, DeFore. Third, Hilty. Fourth, Pages. Fifth, Wall. Sixth, Carrazza. Seventh, Cave. And eighth, Stryker.
Impressive victory there by Elizabeth Jones, as she swam 1:57.79, and in her prelim time she was only 2 minutes. So big improvement there for her, and that is the reason why she was victorious.
A lot of activity in our live chat right now. Love to see it. Love to see it. Keep it coming.
Nick Bavona leading the charge in the comments section.
It's not Nick Bavona leading the charge, but it's okay. Traffic is traffic. I would be doing the exact same thing if I was watching from home, spamming the live chat. All of my inside jokes, all of my shout-outs, they would all be in the live chat if I wasn't here calling the event.
I'm going to pose a question to the live chat right now, as ABBA is blaring through the speakers here, little dancing queen. Do you like ABBA? And I asked Joe the question before, what song genre would you want to walk to the starting point for? So let us know what type of music you like and what would get you hyped up.
Nick, I'm telling you, if I was in that chat right now, there is no chance I would be answering the question seriously. We invite all responses, humorous and serious.
All right, let's see what they have to say.
I'm sure plenty. I don't doubt it for a second. They are introducing the finalists in the A heat of the women's 200-yard freestyle. I will do that as well. Swimming out of lane 1, representing Sarah Lawrence College, Kelani Talma. In lane 2, representing TCNJ, Shannon Hesse. In lane 3, representing Montclair State, Julie Tiedemann. In lane 4, representing Rowan University, Jordan McChesney. In lane 5, representing the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy, Elise Dahlke. In lane 6, representing the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy, Deidre McCafferty. In lane 7, representing Kane University, Kylie Tinanenko. And in lane 8, we have a cutoff first name. Let's see if our meet sheet can help us here. It looks like a Julia or a Julia, as you said last night, Nick. but I don't believe our meet
It's
sheet.
either Julia, Julie, or Juliet. We'll
Yes.
find out shortly. Bob will let us know over the PA system.
Very rare that a name doesn't fit up on that board, but Scott Cardillo in lane 8 representing Montclair State. And you said it, Nick. We'll stay quiet and let Bob tell us who it is swimming in lane 8.
Unless someone in the chat wants to tell Joe first.
From King, Kylie, Dinenko.
Here comes the introduction of the swimmer in lane 8.
He finalist in the 50 last night. He finalist in this event last year. From Montclair,
Juliana.
Cordell.
There we go. So Juliana happened to say her first name now.
Nick Bavona is in the chat, Nick, and you are getting responses if you want to check it out. There's a lot to read, a lot to unpack there.
I'll see if I get a moment here. But right now, I got to be locked in on this race. Freestyle comes at you quick. Here we go. A heat.
A final, women's 200-yard freestyle. First to the wall by a slim margin, Elise Dahlke of the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy. The rest of the field closely assembled behind her. As once again, Dahlke first to the touch pads.
Dahlke 25.98 there. The split.
The only sub-26 split through the first 50. It appears right now that Jordan McChesney is in second. And she certainly is, especially coming out of that last turn. Dahlke and McChesney distinguishing themselves off the wall. Dahlke maintains her lead by an even half a second.
55.04 for Dahlke. 55.54 for McChesney. To her side of lane 4.
They are going stroke for stroke right now. It looks like McChesney has overtaken Dahlke for the lead.
Yep.
Final 50.
McChesney 29.60 there. Dahlke 30.68.
Dahlke falling a bit further behind, but Julie Tiedemann may push McChesney a bit. I don't know if it's going to be enough this late. It does not appear so, as once again, McChesney separating herself off the wall with that last turn, and she will coast to the win in the A final of the women's 200-yard freestyle. Tiedemann will take second, Dahlke third, Talma fourth, Hesse fifth, McCafferty sixth, Scott Cardillo seventh, and Tinenenko eighth.
Okay, nice swim, lady. Our next event, the men's 200-yard freestyle.
200-yard freestyle next up for the men.
Participants have taken the starting blocks. You see them up on your screen from lane 1 through 8. Robert Gagnon of Rowan swimming out of lane 1. Troy Rowe of Salisbury swimming out of lane 2. David Gardner of Salisbury, lane 3. Anthony Ferrero of Montclair State, lane 4. Mitchell McGee of Salisbury, lane 5. Gabe Rivers of Roberts Wesleyan, lane 6. Daniel Bartsevich of Montclair State, lane 7. And Jeffrey Horn of Ramapo, lane 8. The entire field appears to be stroke for stroke right now. No clear leader yet. Swimmers separated, 3 of them by less than 1/10 of a second in lanes 5, 6, and 7. First to the wall, Rivers and Bartsevich in lanes 6 and 7. Not by much, but they are the leaders right now. That duo going stroke for stroke as we are through the first 100 in this 200-yard freestyle C Heat final.
Rivers, 51-34. So he dropped off a little bit there. David Gard to 11.
Looks like Mitchell McGee distinguishing himself now out of lane 5 as he heads for the touchpad with a narrow lead over Anthony Ferrero. Those two beginning to separate themselves as we enter the final 50.
McGee, 118.52 there. Ferrero, 118.88.
They reached the wall simultaneously, but it looks like McGee gained a slight edge off of that last turn, and that final turn may propel him to victory. He has turned it up in the last 25, and McGee will take first in the C final of the men's 200 free. Ferrero holds on for second. Gagnon finishes third, Rivers fourth, Gardner fifth, Bartsevich sixth, Rose seventh, and Horn eighth.
All right, on to the next one, the B final now.
The chat wanted Anthony Ferrero introduced as Anthony Big Boy Ferrero. The question is, would Anthony have appreciated that introduction? That's the big question.
I don't think he would have.
Well, I'll tell you, I was addressed as Joe number 2 the other day. I did not appreciate that.
Oh, man, by who? Who is Joe number 1? That's what I want to know.
We'll talk about that later.
Uh-oh.
Lanes 1 through 8, men's 200-yard freestyle B final. Adrianto, lane 1. Pellegrino, lane 2. Pajoli, lane 3. Todd, lane 4. Schurer, lane 5. Label, lane 6. Dang, lane 7. McGlynn, lane 8.
Ethan showing that he's ready William Label right now, and he's having a strong showing, but right now it looks like lane 3 perhaps going to touch the wall first there.
It was David Pajoli of the College of Staten Island reaching the touchpad first. His lead was about 0.4 of a second. He still leads. As he reaches the wall first, he's being pushed by Daniel Todd in lane 4. Todd closing in quickly. Pajoli and Todd heading for the wall stroke for stroke as we enter the final 50.
Right there, right next to each other. Battle for first and second right now. Looks like everyone else is going to be far back a little more for third.
They take the turn almost simultaneously, but off the wall, Todd has surged ahead.
Jack Pellegrino in third right now, looks like, but we'll see. It's hard to tell. Everyone's bundled up.
Todd takes first, Pajoli second, McGlynn out of lane 8 third, Label fourth, Pellegrino fifth, Dang sixth, Andrianto seventh, and Schurer eighth.
Pajoli with a good showing. Joe, you've seen him swim before, so any inside information there that you may have that Bob did not have?
A lot of medaling finishes this year for the College of Staten Island, that I can tell you. I don't actually score the meets, but I do collect those scores and input them into our website in the form of medal counts. So our website has a tally of all the top 3 finishes for each swimmer, and I can tell you Pajoli has been a part of a lot of relay winning teams and has medaled many times himself in individual events. Definitely one of the premier swimmers for the CSI Dolphins swimming and diving program.
Joe and I here last year on behalf of the College of Staten Island, as we do broadcast all of their sporting events, and we actually appreciate all of you who are big fans of us getting us back here this year, and some few fans who decided to email the athletic director and the president of the school to thank them for sending us. So we appreciate that. And now we're happy to be here this year for PDF Sportsnet.
Well, I'll tell you, Nick, opening up the live chat during a stream like this with so many moving parts can get very dangerous. Sometimes you may hear things you don't want to hear. A lot of criticisms coming in, questions. We did have that hiccup earlier tonight. I think considering the gravity of that situation, you never want to start with the stream being offline for 5 minutes, but I think the chat handled it well. We noticed it quickly, got back online within 5 minutes, and we're able to bring everyone the rest of our events this evening. But
well, Joe, you've been here for about 11 hours now, so you are working hard. There's no doubt about that. You were here bright and early for the prelims, all the swimming, all the diving. You had a quick little dominoes break, and now you're ready to go here for the main event this evening.
No doubt about it, but what I was going to do was circle back to your point about the message that CSI's upper administration received. That was a big part of the reason we were confident enough to open up the chat. We know that everyone at home appreciates the work we do, even if it doesn't go as we wanted every time.
And we had some people sending us some messages on social media last year out of the blue to my personal social media
How did they
accounts.
find you?
At Nick's Food and Stuff on Instagram, at Nick_Durst on Twitter, also at the YKIR podcast on all platforms, but just chat away here in the YouTube chat.
All right, so introductions are finished over public address. I will share the competitors now. Lane 1, Volin. Lane 2, Wackendorfer. Lane 3, Black. Lane 4, McChesney. Lane 5, Conblay. Lane 6, Bull. Lane 7, Watts. And lane 8, Ryder.
And we'll see after this if we're going to have a break. If not, we're probably going to go straight through.
The word right now from Bob on public address, who has all the stats. Record pace for James McChesney. Look at his lead as he heads back toward the touchpad. And he finishes the first 100 at 46:05.
Well, Joe, the record is 2009. Mike Vernoy, 137.89. We'll see if McChesney could chase that. Is that a good pace right now?
He's on pace for it, no doubt about it. He's through 150 at 111.38. McChesney will take first. Will he set a record? And who will take second? McChesney has to at least maintain that 25-33 split from the previous 50. He is headed back for the touchpad, vying for a record. Did he do it? You think he did, Nick?
He did it, Joe.
Did it. He does it. 136.52, new record for James McChesney in this 2023 Mets Championship.
Yeah, also a new D3A 2022-2023 record as well.
Not to be lost in that, it was a 1-2 finish for the Lions. McChesney 1, Lucas Black 2. Alex Volin 3, Toby Conblay 4, Brian Bull was 5th, and we're on to the women's 100-yard breaststroke. Now, Nick, I have a hunch that if this is our next event, we're not getting a break.
No, I think it was a little bizarre we had a break after 10 minutes of action, but let's go, power through.
Well, we had the break after the first 10 minutes because our relay had concluded. The relay typically includes a lot of swimmers who are also participating in other events. And when you have that, you need to give those swimmers a bit of a break. I do believe diving is wrapped up to our left as well. The women opened diving in the 1-meter event. The men followed in the 3-meter. The men have just wrapped up. They're now warming up, or I should say, perhaps more accurately, cooling down on the 1-meter boards. But in front of us, the women's 100-yard breast. Lane 1, Caitlin Gollin. Lane 2, Cami Jovic. Lane 3, Jessica Johnson. Lane 4, Sarah Bent. Lane 5, Christina Below. Lane 6, Renee Rosler. Lane 7, Kinsey Ginsburg. And lane 8, Catherine Maceda.
Well, in that first split there, everyone was below Christina Below in time, 32:19 there.
As the swimmers head back toward the touch pads for this final touch, it is Christina Below out of lane 5 with the lead. Swimmers in lanes 1 through 4 closely assembled behind her. Below takes first. And Jessica Johnson of the College of Staten Island takes second. Garlin third. Bent fourth. Jovic fifth. Rosler sixth. Maceda seventh. And Ginsburg eighth.
All right, on to the next race here. The B final here.
Women's 100-yard breaststroke B final. Vivian Ravines, lane 1. Camilla Mercado, lane 2. Lily Shea, lane 3. Samantha Watson, lane 4. Catherine McCain, lane 5. Jessica Felsky, lane 6. Julia Birkenbosch, lane 7. And Sydney McGann in lane 8. First to the touch pads through the first 50. Samantha Watson in lane 4. The only split time sub 32 seconds. It appears that Watson will be first back to the wall as well. Swimmers in lanes 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, and 7, all arriving at the wall right behind her. Sydney McGann not too far off the pace in lane 8. Swimmers headed for the touch pad. Maintaining her lead is Watson, and taking second is Lily Shea. Jessica Felsky third. Catherine McCain fourth. Vivian Ravines fifth. Camilla Mercado sixth. Julia Birkenbosch seventh, and Sydney McCann in eighth.
Samantha Watson came into that heat as the favorite, and she delivered and came out victorious. Now it's time for the A final, and the only question I have for everybody in the chat is, y'all ready for this?
In just a moment, you will see spectators, or I should say the participants. Spectators will rise to their feet. Participants will arrive at the starting block in this women's 100-yard breaststroke A final. If I'm not mistaken, Nick, Kinsey Brooks won this event by a significant margin last year, if I'm not mistaken. What was her seed time coming in?
101.99, so that was the best. Naomi Miller, 104.19, was second, but we just saw her race and win maybe like 15 minutes ago, so let's see how she's able to recover. Kinsey Brooks won her race last night as well. So Emmy Higgins in lane 1 from the United States Merchant Marine Academy. Thalia Costanza from University of Mary Washington in lane 2. Abby J. Brock from Montclair State University in lane 3. Kinsey J. Brooks from University of Mary Washington lane 4. Naomi Miller from Kane in lane 5. Bridget Zagrobeleni in lane 6 from University of Mary Washington. Tegan Powell from Kane in lane 7. And Bella Stefanowicz in lane 8 from Rowan.
A final women's 100-yard breaststroke. After this, we have just one more event on the program for tonight, and that will be the 100-yard backstroke. Of course, the men will follow the women in this event as well, so be sure to stay tuned for that. A total of 9 heats following this one. 3 heats in the men's 100 breast, and then 3 heats each for the men and the women in the 100 back. Bob wrapping up the introduction of the participants. Bella Stefanowicz introduced last, swimming out of lane 8. Never a bad idea to announce the name of the swimmer in lane 8 twice, because oftentimes you can lose them in the midst of a race. Swimmers have taken to the pool. Women's 100-yard breast, A final, 2023 Mets Championship, and Kinsey Brooks out to an early lead heading toward the wall. Brooks first to the wall, strong turn. And Brooks leads by almost a body length already as she approaches the touch pad to conclude the first 50. Just in case, Nick, what's the record in this event?
The record in this event would be set by none other than Kinsey Brooks last year at 101.91.
I do my homework. I remember last year very well. What was the time again?
101.91.
Well, she was certainly on pace to beat that through the first 50.
In her prelim today, 101.99. So
it's going to be close. It's going to be real close. Didn't get it, but she does take first. Who will take second? And it will be Naomi Miller taking second, Abby Brock taking third, Talia Costanza fourth, Bridget Zagrabelny fifth, Tegan Powell sixth, Emmy Higgins seventh, and Bella Stefanovic eighth.
All kudos to Naomi Miller in her second race of the night. Strong showing there. Comes in second place. She won the 400-yard individual medley earlier this evening. So to come back a little bit later and do that quicker 100 and come in second. Excellent job by her.
True testament to the stamina of these student athletes. Stamina certainly not my strength when it comes to athletics.
Joseph Swede in lane 1, Jack Dragone in lane 2, Matthew Detlinger in lane 3, Gabriel Mitza in lane 4, Brandon Dew in lane 5, Tommy Booth lane 6, Thomas Smith lane 7, Talamora lane 8.
It looks like Mitza is going to be first to the touchpad. He is first. Booth right behind him. Sounds like Bob might be saying Mikesa. Of course, we'd love to get it right without the benefit of a pronunciation guide here.
Mikesa's going to be pushed here a little bit by Brandon Dew, but Mikesa's going to get it.
And it is Mikesa who takes first in the C final of the men's 100-yard breaststroke.
Booth second and Dew third. Detlinger fourth.
So it is pronounced Mixa. Thank you, David. And Lisa, we do apologize. Reading it off a phone last night, I read the V as a W. That was my mistake, Lisa. Bella Stefanovic with a V, not a W.
Henry Lynch in lane 1, Gavin Luong lane 2, Dylan White lane 3, Will Berkey in lane 4, Dylan Negrone lane 5, Stephen Wallach lane 6, Caleb Smetana lane 7, and Samuel De Leon in lane 8.
The final men's 100-yard breaststroke. First to the touchpad by 5/100ths of a second, Will Berkey of the University of Mary Washington. Looks like Berkey maintains his lead to the wall, but Dylan Negron right behind him. Negron may be gaining here as they head for the final touch. Looks like Negron has overtaken Berkey, and he has. Dylan Negron takes first for TCNJ. Berkey second. Luong third. De Leon fourth. White fifth. Along with Stephen Wallach, they tie with a time of 58.4. Caleb Smetana 7th, and Henry Lynch 8th. That was some bass on that song there. Shook the building as we get set.
Is it Rick Boogs playing the bass? Is he booging out?
A final men's 100-yard breaststroke about to get started.
All right, after this, the last event of the evening, the 100-yard backstroke, women and then men. And then back here, bright and early tomorrow morning, you'll see the prelims streaming. And then 5:20 p.m. approximately, the prime time stream, senior walk, followed by the conclusion of the Metropolitan Collegiate Championships.
Finalists being introduced over public address, and once again, a lot of TCNJ representation. A couple of swimmers for Rowan as well. Then one swimmer each from Montclair State, Mary Washington, and Salisbury. The TCNJ contingent in lanes 1 through 3, Patrick Sullivan, Sean Kushner, and Ryan Vandeveen. Representing Rowan, Michael Fracciola and Jimmy Kundratz. Montclair State represented by Spencer Dubois. Aiden Deege representing the University of Mary Washington, and Dominic Kazi representing Salisbury.
Number 6, winner of the C-Final in 53 last night from Rowan, Jimmy Kundratz.
Do apologize for the break in my voice. Taking care of wrapping up our diving stream. Diving has concluded for the night, but we still have more to come tomorrow. Our final diving event of this 2023 Mets Championship is women's 3-meter diving. That takes place tomorrow. The chat likes Spencer Dubois' chances in this one.
Well, Dubois, 55:26 prelim time. He was the best.
You're getting minus odds on that one. Perhaps not in swimming. Maybe a minus 120. Once again, Dubois swimming out of lane 4. He is first to the wall by a slim margin. Off of that turn, he may have a lead of fingertips at best. Fracciola not far behind in lane 5, about a quarter of a second off the pace.
25:76 for Fracciola, Dubois 25:49.
Fracciola and Dubois get to the wall simultaneously. This is going to be close. Spectators rising to their feet. This may be our closest finish of the night. Vandeveen, Dubois, Fracciola, and it's Vandeveen out of lane 3 representing TCNJ taking first. Dubois second, Fracciola third, Kushner fourth, Sullivan fifth, along with Jimmy Kundratz. They tie with a time of 56:41.
Vandeveen really turned it on there at the end, the last 25, and he surpasses Dubois and Fracciola for victory. Now we are on to the last event of this evening, the backstroke.
Participants will be as follows in the women's 100-yard backstroke C final. In lane 1, Q Clayton of Rowan University. In lane 2, Julia May of the University of Mary Washington. Kira Chen of Baruch College in lane 3. Alexis Kidchaub of Rowan University, lane 4. Lily Golden of Salisbury in lane 5. Colleen Scanlon of TCNJ in lane 6. Sophia Hall of TCNJ as well in lane 7. And once again, we have a name that is partially cut off, but Chiapetta, the last name of the swimmer, out of lane 8. So that could be full. It could be Genevieve.
Could it be Genevieve?
Very possible. Nonetheless, the swimmers head back toward the touch pads through the first 50, and it appears that Colleen Scanlon has a narrow lead, though it looked like Lily Golden registered the first touch out of lane 5. Golden heading back toward the wall with a narrow lead. Her closest competitors in lane 3 and lane 1. Kira Chen, lane 3, Q Clayton in lane 1.
Lily Golden right now, surging ahead.
Golden ahead, but she's being pushed by Chen, pushed by Clayton. It looks like Golden will hold on, and she will. Chen second, Kidchov takes third, Clayton fourth, Scanlon fifth, May sixth, Chiapetta seventh, and Hall eighth.
5 more heats to go this evening. Morgan Adams from Salisbury, lane 1. Caitlin Markham from Salisbury, lane 2. Tricia Law from Rowan, lane 3. Erin Barrett from Montclair State University in lane 4, joined by her teammates in lane 5 and 6, Julia Weinreb, and in lane 5, Sophia Shapovic in lane 6. University of Mary Washington's Amber Candido in lane 7. And in lane 8, it's Samantha Pricken. From William Patterson University.
B final women's 100-yard backstroke. Swimmers all arrive at the wall at just about the same time. Off of that turn, it appears Julia Weinreb has a small advantage. Perhaps now in lane 6, Sophia Shapovic may be in the lead. It's so close at the front of the pack.
Shapovic in the lead, 28.70. Erin Barrett right there as well. I think she's going to touch the wall first here.
Barrett first to the wall. Final 25 in this women's 100-yard backstroke B final. Barrett has the lead, but it is a slim lead. Being pushed out of lanes 3 and 5, but it looks like Barrett will hold on. She will by less than 0.2 of a second. Barrett 1, Lau 2, Candido 3, Weinreb 4, Shapovic 5, along with Morgan Adams. They both finish with a time of 1:01.52. Samantha Pricken 7, and Caitlin Markham 8th.
All right. It's now going to be time for the A final, Heat 3.
A final women's 100 back coming up in just a couple of minutes following the introduction of the swimmers. Those swimmers now listed up on the LED board and on your screen via the broadcast. I will bring those to you. Representing the University of Mary Washington in lane 1, Phoebe Root. In lane 2, representing Hunter College, Jermaine Chow. In lane 3, representing TCNJ, Rachel Hanna. In lane 4, representing Rowan University, Ella Pennington. In lane 5, representing the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy, Annie Hood. In lane 6, representing Kane University, Ashley Kahns. In lane 7, also representing the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy, Camden Martin. And in lane 8, representing Hunter College, Kiana Guarino. While we have a moment during the introduction of the swimmers, we'll look ahead tomorrow to our coverage. Early in the morning, we will have prelims coverage. That begins at 9:30 a.m. We got on the air just in time this morning. I've never seen anything like it, but with the cold weather outside, condensation covered the lenses of all of our cameras for about 30 to 40 minutes after we stepped foot inside of the Sonny Werblin Rec Center. We had to get that taken care of. We came on with the lenses a bit foggy, but after the first event of our prelims this morning, thankfully that was taken care of. We were good to go. Prelims all morning, diving extending to almost 3:30 p.m. And then, of course, tomorrow we have night 4 of the 2023 Mets Championship, beginning with the senior walk. The meet begins at 5:30. Once again, the senior walk scheduled for 5:20. We'll have full coverage of the senior walk tomorrow night as soon as we come on the air at approximately 5:10 or 5:15 p.m. Kiana Guarino about to be introduced in lane 8 once again, and then we will begin. Women's 100-yard backstroke, A final. And we're underway. Sometimes I get caught speaking during that moment of silence before the start of a given race. I got a lot of looks when that happens. Multiple swimmers reaching the wall at the same time, but off the first turn, Ella Pennington has the lead in lane 4. At the moment, second can belong to just about anybody, but it is Pennington with the first touch. She set the pace by about 0.8 of a second.
Rachel Hanna, 28-20 in second on that touch.
Pennington with a sizable advantage now, heading back for the final touch.
Hood in second right now.
Hanna and Hood vying for second behind Ella Pennington. Pennington sub 57 with a time of 56.59. Hood takes second, Hanna takes third. Cons fourth, Guarino fifth, Martin 6th, and Root 7th per our LED board, but it looks like that may have malfunctioned. Jermaine Chow didn't register a touch at some point.
I can assure you she finished much quicker than the 1:20.96 you see on the screen.
No doubt about it. But that's why we have timekeepers at the starting blocks. If I'm not mistaken, we have one timekeeper from the teams and one timekeeper staffed by the event independently, but I could be mistaken there. We certainly have two timekeepers in addition to the touch pads. Final 3 heats of the night coming up right here. The men's 100-yard backstroke. C heat up first.
We will have a little bit of a delay as they get that score sorted out there. Looks like one of the scorekeepers heading over to the table.
I think they're going to pass Chow's official times to the stat keeper. I think that's the delay.
Yes.
Now, swimming out of lane 1, I would pronounce that Young, but I could be completely off. But Alex of the University of Mary Washington swimming in lane 1. Kyle Dieterich of Mary Washington, his teammate in lane 2. Adam Dubkowski of Salisbury, lane 3. Christian Werner of Rowan, lane 4. Dennis DeLargy of Montclair State, lane 5. Brendan McDevitt of Ramapo in lane 6. William Kim of NYMC, lane 7. And Christian Muleisen in lane 8, representing Montclair State.
Dennis Delargy was leading the way in that first touch, 25-38.
With the lead is Dennis DeLargy, swimming out of lane 5. His lead has only grown following that last turn. Second is up for grabs. DeLargy will take first in the C final, and second goes to Adam Dubkowski. Werner takes third.
Next up, your B-final.
B-final. Men's 100-yard backstroke coming up right now as the swimmers get set to jump down into the pool. Lane 1 representing TCNJ, Richard Park. Daniel Grigoriev of Salisbury in lane 2. Max Clare of Staten Island in lane 3. Paul Dadovich of Mary Washington, lane 4. Boone Fleener, also of Mary Washington, lane 5. Dominic Anstey of Salisbury, lane 6. Ryan Capps of Montclair State, lane 7. And Matt DeGennaro of Rowan University in lane 8.
All right, Joe, any insight on the swimmer in lane 3?
He's a gamer, Nick. The most recent headlines he's grabbed that I've seen is, Alberto, a big proponent of esports at the College of Staten Island.
Esports, College of Staten Island is dominant in the ECC
Yes.
and esports in the East Coast Conference.
No doubt about
Two of
it.
their first ECC trophies
Correct.
come from gaming. So he's a multi-sport athlete.
He absolutely is. See what he can do here, swimming out of lane 3. Swimmers stroke for stroke. Following the first turn, it appears Richard Park may have a small lead in lane 1. And he is indeed first to the touchpad, sub 25 seconds.
24:92.
Park leading through the first 50. We have just over 25 to go now as Park is first to the wall. Strong turn for Park. He maintains the lead, but closing in is Ryan Capps in lane 7. I think Park will hold on, and he will. Clare takes second out of lane 3. Capps falls to third in lane 7. Dadovich 4th. Fleener 5th. Grigoriev 6th. Anstey 7th. And DeGennaro 8th.
All right, excellent race there. And now here it is, Joe, if you could believe it already, the last event of the night, 7:38 p.m.
Long day.
And Joe, I think you might as well just sleep here. We got a few chairs. You could just stay right.
I thought about that. I certainly thought about it.
Very hot. You'll be dripping sweat.
I will. I will be very warm if I decide to sleep here. That probably is an
The question is,
option.
now that you know it's going to be a long day, do you have a big breakfast coming
Yes.
here before? Okay.
It won't be as long as today. Only one diving event tomorrow.
Okay, that's it.
And it's the women's 3-meter. Typically, there are fewer 3-meter participants than 1-meter.
Right.
So you take the field from today and you cut that in half once. There are no men divers.
Swimming might be longer, though, than it was today. The prelims.
It will be
Plus
longer.
longer events, plus all the real
But
events.
I would guess fewer heats. It might even out.
All right.
We'll see. Our viewers can find out with me tomorrow.
If you want to get a special shout out tomorrow from Joe, just show up here with some food for him. He'll be here from 9 a.m. till 8 p.m. at least.
Nick, can we get another woof woof for Jack Big Dog Watson?
The big dog's in the house. He came in here with the best prelim time of 53:26. Throw him up for the big dog. Woof, woof.
Our chat will love that. Our engineer didn't love it. He's shaking his head.
Andrew Kidjob back. He just raced a few minutes ago.
I will introduce all of the participants as the big dog is introduced over public address, but the rest of the field in lane 1, Youssef Al-Khouly. In lane 2, Teague Mayer. In lane 3, Heath Lewis. Jack Watson, lane 4, as we already mentioned. Andrew Kidjob, lane 5. Justin Golia, lane 6. Jonah Herring, lane 7. And Daniel DiCarlo in lane 8. Tell you, chat's getting creative with the names, the usernames. I would be having a blast with that. Show up as Foreman Osborne one day, show up as the Tri-Bet Chief. What else do they call me, Nick?
The ACC,
the Great White.
Joe number 2.
The Great White. We'll talk about the Joe number 2 thing later. And it's not number 2 like you're thinking.
I'm thinking that another one of our Joes in our group was number 1 Joe.
That was the...
And he had the same position as you previously.
That was the implication. That was the implication.
All right. Great job by that Joe last year to check the stream numbers on the back end for us.
If I'm in the group chat with a bunch of my buddies and they hear me call Joe number 2, the chat's about to be filled with turd emojis.
All right, we're off here.
100-yard backstroke, A final. First to the wall, Watson in lane 4. Strong turn propels him to a lead of about half a body length. Andrew Kidchob in lane 5 and Teague Mayer in lane 2, trailing Watson through the first 50. Final 50 yards of the night here in the main pool. Night 3, 2023 Mets Championship. Jack Watson looking to close out the night with a big win.
Who let the big dog out? Who? Jack Watson. Here he goes.
Will this be a record-setting performance? He did it. New record. Jack Watson, the big dog. One more time, Nick.
Woof, woof. It's time to acknowledge the big dog, Jack Watson, with a new record, 47.54. The old record was held by the all-time great Oscar Pereiro from 2020, or from 2012, rather, 48.05. So, congrats to Jack Watson, 47.54.
Chance of Watson. Perhaps chance of Rowan. Very easy to misconstrue the two, but well-deserved for Jack as he sets a new record in this event. And
well, it's fitting because Rowan's shirts, they say we got the dog in us. And they got the big dog who just set the record. So congrats to Jack Watson. And that's going to do it for another great night here on the campus of Rutgers University.
well, I'll tell you, the chat absolutely loved that finish, and so did we. Another entertaining heat to close out the night. Not our closest finish of the evening, but yet another record. We saw, what was it, 2 or 3 records set this evening? I think it was 2.
2.
2 big records set tonight, perhaps
saw,
more to come.
Almost saw a third, but...
Very close. Yeah. Kinsey Brooks didn't miss by much in the women's 100-yard breast.
Was we saw 2 swimmers who were freshmen from opposite schools with the same last name, and we had both their family members commenting to us, so we appreciate all of your comments.
We had both parents.
Both parents.
So I misread the comment. I was reading it off my phone quickly as I called the action, so...
Keep those comments rolling in for tomorrow.
No doubt about that. We look forward to hearing from all of our viewers again tomorrow morning and tomorrow night. Thank you, everyone, for tuning into this broadcast of Night 3 of the 2023 Mets Championship. This has been Joe Foreman alongside my broadcast partner, Nick Durst. I will be back here tomorrow morning operating the streams for the prelims. No voice in the morning. I am rejoined by Nick tomorrow night for the 4th and final day of this 2023 Mets Swimming and Diving Championship. In case you missed our rundown of the events tomorrow night, first up, the 1650 freestyle, followed by the 200-yard backstroke, the 100 free, the 200 breast, the 200 butterfly, women's 3-meter diving, and the 400-yard freestyle relay. That is always one that our viewers and the spectators are waiting for on the final day of this meet. We certainly look forward to that. Again, thank you everyone for tuning in. This has been Joe Foreman with Nick Durst. Join us back here tomorrow night at 5:30.